Since their awakening in the depths of the world, the dwarven civilization, the Rack of Torches, under the guidance of their king, Doran Roarswine, prospered. They soon began to trade with the human hamlets to the east, but trade was slow, as the sand desert dunes claimed quite a few caravans under their sands. The merchants pined for a safe place to stop on their journeys through the deserts, an oasis of sorts where they could stay for the night. And so, on this day, King Doran commissioned a group of 7 dwarves to set out into the unforgiving deserts and set up an outpost to shelter the mercenaries as they crossed the dunes. This is their story. Hello, and welcome to this, a new little short fortress video. This may be a mini-series or it may just be a single video. I haven't quite decided yet. So today what we're going to do is, as mentioned in the intro, attempt to make a safe spot for merchants to pass. Now there isn't actually any mechanics in Dwarf Fortress to set up trade routes, but I have this idea that this spot way off in the desert, let me show up the map actually. Yes, thank you very much. Center on forward. So I've selected this area right here on the map as one of the shortest routes between kind of the grassy areas over here and the grassy areas over here. It was also up here, but when you get closer to the map, this is actually a shorter distance for the sands. And as we're actually looking at this area, I'm realizing that there is quite a bit of grass here. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting nothing but sand. So that's a bit of a welcome sight. It should not be quite as difficult to actually turn this into a nice area for our dwarves to live and do some merchanting. We shall see. First off, let's start by cutting down this massive cacti over here. Saguaro? Yeah, saguaro cacti. It goes up, oh my gosh, it goes up quite high. Actually, are these cactuses or are these something else? I wonder. Well, for our purposes, I think it will suffice to just consider it a cactus. So first things first, we are going to chop that down. And the second thing we're going to do is set up a place for all these animals over here to pasture in. And I'm thinking, generally with sand biomes, if you just kind of chop down into the earth, you will get to a point where this sort of vegetation does appear. And as we have some on the surface here, I'm wondering if we dig down here, if it will just be more lush. Something to consider, I suppose. So before we move forward, what I'm going to do is go over into the labor tabs over here. I'm going to select a few dwarfs and make them miners. So the mason and the stonecrafter will also be a miner, and we're going to let them do that for now. Our woodcutter should be moving over to cut this tree down. Actually, let's let them do that right now. So yeah, as we see, woodcutter cutting tree, and any minute now we should see the logs on the ground. There is not actually as much logs as I was expecting, considering the sheer size of this, but that's all right. That'll be enough to make beds once we get there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to dig just a little trench for the time being. So let's scroll in just a bit, just so we can see it a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. Here we go. And we are going to dig out in all directions. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Let's start by 13 in every direction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've lost count. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Once again, 13 in that direction. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 in that direction. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 in that direction. There's a chance that I miscalculated that, but I think we're pretty good here. So let's just go ahead and turn this into a little bit of a circle. I do have a love for semicircles in this game, kind of the Minecraft circle of just, kind of a blocky shape. So we're going to go like this, and I'm not following any guides for making circles online. I'm just kind of eyeballing this, so I may have to come back a few times to neaten this up. Let's see, let's move on to like 2s and just 1s for the end bits. Here we go, that looks fairly good. Here and here and over here, here and here. Did I mess this up? I believe I did. Yes, so I wanted 2 here. Here we go. Here we go, 2, 2, 1, and 2. And we're going to go ahead and set all this to be dug up very simply as such. And after that, we're going to tell our dwarves to get to digging. There we go. So they should be running over right now. There's 3 dwarves set to dig, and they are going to dig down. Now, for once, we're starting a fortress in the desert. We will not be lacking resources for our animals while they're waiting for their pasture to get built, which is a good thing, I think. And we're going to just let them dig this down and hope that my hunch is correct, that once you dig the top layer of soil off, they are more likely to grow grass. Here we go. We already have grass growing, so I'm hoping that's correct. At the very least, we won't have this conglomerate stone just kind of sitting on the surface, so it might make for a better pasture area. Here we go. And I see a cat has already caught, what is this, a wren? Some sort of bird. Fantastic. We'll just leave the cat to doing that. And we are going to also we're also going to start thinking of digging down, because the hope for this fortress is not simply that we have some nice pasture grounds up here. It is to actually have fungus up at the surface, and I am certain we are able to do that if we find a cavern, and then if we kind of put something above this, it might be considered as being in a cavern and start growing fungus. And I think that would be the best kind of way of announcing that this is a dwarven fortress, to have fungi wood growing right at the surface up here. It'll be good for our caravans to see and then be like, oh yeah, that's where the dwarves are. So we've gotten that done, and I'm going to go over here, let's say, and just dig straight down, all the way down to elevation 10. Let us consider that as the best place to dig down to, and we're going to just dig this little area out here, and we are going to, as they're doing that, move the pasture over here. Zones, yes, here we go, pen and enclosures. We're going to just plaster this entire area as a pasture area as such, and as such, here we go. Oh, of course, I have to select this and say my animals should be moved here. So let's move all the herbivorous animals down. I'm thinking keeping the dogs and cats just kind of milling around with the dwarves is best, both for their morale and because they'll be catching just things, nasty little creatures that are running around, like the wren and like this rat apparently. Damp stone located. I'm sorry, what? Okay, so we have instantly hit damp stone. This is sand, and we have hit rough-hewn conglomerate wall. Okay. I knew there was an aquifer layer here. It's supposed to be quite light as far as aquifer layers go. So we shouldn't have too much trouble with this, but I'm a bit surprised that it's actually so close to the surface. So let's just dig down here and prepare our dwarves to be smoothing out these cavern walls. Yeah, so this seems to be 100% stone, which is ideal for us because we can smooth that up. We don't need to replace it with anything else. Here we go. And I was about to just make him dig all the way down until we hit a cavern, but seeing as we're hitting an aquifer now, I have learned the hard way. It is best to have a place for my dwarves to stay while they're doing their work, or they get increasingly agitated. So we're going to just dig out a little area over here as such for them to make a little dormitory for themselves, and we're going to make another little block over here to make to be considered like a temple of sorts. Food and drink should be able to wait. They do have some in their wagon over here, so I don't think we're going to run out of that anytime soon. Here we go. So we have the two areas dug out, and we're going to make sure they have their needs of, bedding and such taken care of. Let us use some of this wood. I think we'll be fine. There's only 7 dwarves right now. I was hesitating because we wanted wood for beds, but it should be just fine. Here we go, and we have our carpenter now set up. Perfect. So let's select the carpenter and queue up a few beds before I get distracted and just forget about the beds. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's make 8 beds. There should be one more log, and I'm going to make an altar with the last log. There we go. So this guy is going to go off, get us some wood, and start preparing this bedroom of sorts. We're going to go back to digging now with the rest of our dwarves here. So let's just keep going until we get through this aquifer layer and make sure we are indeed smoothing out all the rock walls. While this is happening, we don't want to forget any and then just constantly have the drip of the aquifer on our heads. Though having a constant drip of water might be interesting for something else we're planning on doing in the future with our area up top, this kind of oasis that we want to build. We could actually have some water in there. That might be interesting, I think. So back down here, and of course there's another aquifer layer just below. So we are once again going to queue up some stairs. There we go. We're going to watch it to make sure that he doesn't just, miss an area and just keep digging underneath that. Here we go. And they have started to dig. They have gotten through. And there's another aquifer layer underneath. Yeah, we've done a good thing to set these up, I think. A bed should be made, so we're going to go ahead and place our first beds of the fortress. It looks like there's actually more than one ready. We're going to make sure keep building after placement is set. Here we go. And we have 2 beds built. Let's go back down to our smoothed out walls. They are done. So let's see if the next layer underneath is also aquifer. There we go. And they are digging, and they have gotten through. If I look underneath, yeah, we've hit more aquifer, so it's probably going to be a little bit less light than I was hoping it would be. Let's just keep the dwarves, busy as they go. And we have this guy over here making more beds. So what we could do is set a dormitory right away in this area with the sand walls. Here we go. I'm not entirely sure how an underground sand area like this would hold up, but we're not going to question that right now. We have more important dwarven things to do, such as digging down another layer. So let's just dig a new layer. Here we go. And now we have gotten down here. So it looks like this is more aquifer here, which we were expecting. I did forget to dig to the next level, so we'll find out if this is also aquifer in a few moments. Yes, aquifer, fantastic. Okay, let's see, we have a new, no, our stray mule has grown up. Okay, that's fine. We are finding a lot of damp stone. That is also okay for now. Let's set up some beds here. Let's put another bed right here. Oh, we have quite a few done. Fantastic. The dwarves will be pleased to know that they have places to sleep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Almost every dwarf has their own sleeping area now. There's one more bed that's being made, and after that we'll have an altar. Right. I'm going to keep pausing the game because I don't want to get confused in what I'm doing here. So we're going to go ahead and dig down once more, get through this aquifer, hopefully soon enough. Here we go. There's water all over the place already. How deep is this water? 1 of 7. Okay, we may have to... Oh. Oh. It looks like we've made it through the aquifer here. It looks like this here is the last layer of aquifer, but we will soon find out, it seems, as this water goes down. If we look at our mining pick area, see these walls are now drying up. Okay, once these are done, here we go, and done. So we have made it through our aquifer layer, and we have our dwarves mining all the way down. So let's just let them do that, as we no longer have to worry about water just filling up this passage. Here we go. And hopefully any minute now we will be tuck. Oh, I got excited. I thought that we had struck the cavern, but there should be a pop-up that appears when we do actually enter a cavern. It should be very obvious. Here we go. So it seems like we have reached down to level 12, and then damp hewn sandstone wall. Okay, so we have struck Jasper. That's not what I was worried about. This is what I was worried about. It looks like we've hit another aquifer, or we've potentially hit another aquifer. So let's just dig out in this direction, just like this, in all 4 directions here. I want to know if we perhaps are digging right next to a cavern, which is also possible. Let's see. So the dwarves are digging out at level 12. So far so good. We are not reaching another there we go. This is what I was hoping for. Okay, let's just pause this for a moment. So we have entered some sort of cavern system here. Okay. This is good news. This is what we were hoping for, because in this particular cavern there is dense floor fungus. The moment you hit a cavern where there is dense floor fungus, it spreads into every underground area that, plants can grow to. So on these stone wall floors, it shouldn't be growing, but if we go back up to the top, there's a good chance that these areas here that we already dug out will start to turn to fungus. The fungus will grow out there now that we have detected a cavern floor with the fungus. This is what we were hoping for, because we wanted this area here, or somewhere out here rather, to be able to have these fungal mycelial floors to attract our merchant caravans. I think we're off to a really good start here. I'm also going to go ahead and build another bed or 2. As such, we'll have 8 beds total, and we're also going to go and build an offering place right here with the altar that we set up. Now, we're going to have to set a meeting spot over here, and place it as a temple to no specific deity for now, just so that the dwarves have a place to go and pray should the need arise. However, going back down to our caverns over here, now that we've discovered the caves, the cave systems, we are going to go out of our way not to exploit it, as strange as that might seem. We don't want to build on the cavern floor. our goal with this fortress is not to build a sprawling underground fortress for our dwarves. It was merely to get access to some cave systems so that we can let the spores kind of filter up from the caves. So we're going to let them finish up here and start building out our dwarven fortress, but perhaps not that low down. Okay, so let's take a look here. Take stock of our situation. We have this area here, a little pasture area where our animals are currently grazing. It could be larger, mostly if we're trying to really kind of show off to the other dwarves and humans of like, we are here, come here, this is your oasis in the desert. We're going to want this to be a little bit bigger, and now that we don't have the miners down there mining out looking for caves, we'll be able to do that a little bit easier, I think, up at the surface. So let's just go ahead and queue up a little bit of digging. Let's see here. We'll dig 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that's 16 in every direction. If my count is right, I might be off. We originally just made 13 by 13, and now we did another 13 over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We're going to do that here as well. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And once more down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right, we're kind of clipping into this a little bit. So we're also going to queue up the removal of this little outcropping up here as such. And let this go, let this run as we continue to dig. Actually, I say that's going to distract me quite a bit. So let's just queue up the circle that we want right away. So 1, 2 in that direction, 1, 2 in this direction. So we have 4 from the center here. Let's do that again. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, and just perhaps I seem to have done it wrong. Okay, so yeah, I counted completely incorrectly. Let's undo that. Talking about being distracted. So it's 4 from the center. That's why I was doing that wrong. Here we go. So 1, 2 here, and now 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and now, am I still off? Let me see. So 4, 4, 3, 3. Okay, 3, 3, 2, and I don't really like the shape. Let us just place this here instead. How do we like this shape? I'm not 100% about it. Okay, so let's take these off. Take these off. We now have. It goes to 3, then to 2. Then perhaps the 2 again. Ooh, it still seems a little off. Okay. Let's once more just start over. So we have 4 from the center. You know what? Let's not do that. 5 from the center here. 5 from the center, and then we're going to have 4 over here. Let's just unmark this so I don't get confused. We're going to do the same over here. So 1 more out here, and then 4, and then here we go. So very simply, now we're going to do a 3 and 3. We're going to do 2 and 2. I'm going to do 2 twice at the very least. And then what happens if I try to collapse these together? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. How do we feel about this? I feel this is a little bit more circular, not 100%, but it'll do. Yeah. Or we could go 3, but then I think it's a little bit lumpy. No, let's just leave it like this for now. So 3 out in this direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2. And then 1, 2. And then dot. So once again, 3 over here. And 4, 3, 2, 2, and then we start dotting this up as such. Does that look correct? I think so. I think so. It's a little bit hard to tell with this dip over here already existing. So let's do 5 from the center, 4, 3, 2, 2, then a dot, and once again, 5 from the center. Is that correct? So 3 off of the side. It'll be easier that way. So 1, 2, 3 off from the side. And then we have 4 and 3, 2, 2, and then just dots. Here we go, they line up. Okay, good. We've got it going now. So let's do this once more. And 4 and 3 and 2 and 2, and then just little dots. 4, 3, 2, 2, and just a few little dots here. There we go. We have our main circle. And I think while we're no, I was gonna make like some sort of aquifer dig in the center here. Oops, I just hit my mic. I'm very sorry. But maybe we want to wait on that. No, I've had a little moment to think about it. I will want to have access down to the cavern, not to the caverns, to the water, to the aquifer layer down here. So let's just dig out 2 in that direction, 2 in that direction, 2 in that direction. It doesn't have to be a big area for water, but I like the idea of there like being access to water here, and that makes the humidity for all of the fungi that's going to be up above, even if that's not actually a game mechanic. Here we go. Let's actually make it out a little bit further. These animals are going to have a bigger pasture soon enough, so it shouldn't be a problem. Here we go. And 2, 2 here, 2, 2 here, and we are done. Perfect. So we'll let them dig that out. Actually, it'll be easier if I simply tell them to dig the whole thing out right away. So let's do that here and here. Yep, that seems to be lining up just fine. So let's do that, and we can actually skip one. Just do that, and we're going to do the same thing over here, and once more, and once again, as such. There we go. So the entire area has been queued up for our dwarves to mine that out. We now have a little temple, and aha, see what I was saying. If it's underground or if it's hidden, it seems like fungus do grow on these sands, and they're already growing out here. So the spores are making it out into this area here, and we're going to want to move these spores over here. So for that, we're going to have to build some sort of area above it, a little roofing for this entire gigantic area that I've just set to dig out. Of course, you know, I'm never just overly ambitious in these projects. At least this time we do have a dormitory and a little temple set up, so our dwarves will be able to have some form of recreation. That's fine. We are going to want to go back down now while they're doing that, and in one of these layers here that has potentially stone that are interesting to us to make a roof for. This is all silt, this is chert. And now we're in chert once again. What else is there around here? This is chert. This is sandstone. I guess sandstone would be the obvious choice in the desert. Let's just go down a little bit, see if there's anything else. There's granite. Granite might be interesting. We could use granite to be able to have access to what am I saying? We could use granite to build our roofing. That might be interesting. So granite and sandstone, and someone's become a miner. And there's also, this is granite. Oh, I was kind of hoping for more choice here. Granite, 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 granite. So yeah, we could go with granite. There seems to be a lot of it. Sandstone would be an interesting choice. Chert is, it's not an ugly color. It's kind of, it's not quite black, I guess. It's dark though. Siltstone is a little bit lighter. What choice did we have higher up? Rock salt. That's kind of red. I think siltstone is going to be the play here. It's kind of a lighter material, and I think it would be more visible for farther away for our merchant caravans. Here we go. So let's just set this up here to dig that out. They have a bunch of digging upstairs, so eventually it'll come down here, but we're not in a big hurry at the moment. Here we go. Yeah, they're still digging. That's perfectly fine. Okay, so talking about merchant caravans, now that I think of it, we eventually will want the merchant area to be in the kind of oasis that we're building here, fungal oasis. But for now, let's make sure we do have a trade depot set up for our dwarves. And yeah, right now it is set to be only stone that we can build out of, because we ran out of wood, and because we don't have anyone making blocks of stone. We're going to do that now. We're going to fix that issue right now. So let's have at least one person to be making blocks, and we're also going to set this entire area as a stone stockpile. I've struck iron. Where? I'm sorry. Oh, have they gone down? They must have. That's fine. We're going to go right back there very soon. So we have this set up, and I'm going to make sure we have the option to have 3 wheelbarrows to help stone be moved here. But I realize we're not going to have access to that right now. Actually, this is one of the few times that in the desert we do have access to some sort of wood. So let's have our woodcutter come and get these cacti for us, and we are going to use that to help us build a little bit, speed that building process up, because I set one block and I forgot about it, or maybe I didn't set any. Okay, so the blocks are here. They're going to start moving things over. There we go. Let's see. Let's not get too distracted before I get distracted from being distracted. Oh, talking about being distracted, we have honeybees. That's fantastic. We'll be able to make mead down the line. Okay, yeah. Now I'm properly distracted, it seems. We're going to make sure one of the dwarves is, yeah, they're making blocks. We have siltstone blocks, so we should be able to make a trade depot right here with these siltstone blocks. There we go. And we're going to want in the trade depot to also have something to sell. So let's have a craft area just set up right there with another block, so that we'll be able to make something to sell, because it is already late spring and we have a tendency to, or at least I do, have time just run away from me. So before autumn arrives and we don't have anything to sell, we are going to set this little craft area up. Actually, in this world, these dwarves, do they have any instruments that we can simply just make? No. So we do have pieces that we need to make for instruments. That's unfortunate. A Ned drum, Ned hammer. Let's attempt to make that. I'm not even going to worry about what they're making it out of. I want to see if we can make drums and hammers just with what we currently have. Okay. So this area has mostly been cleaned up. It looks like, ooh, it looks like here we have a little bit of stone, a little bit of conglomerate. We have a little bit of conglomerate over here. That's not the end of the world. That could be the area in which like our trade depot will be in the future. So I'm just going to let them finish this up real quick. Now, we don't actually have water here, and that is quite normal. It's because the aquifer layer should be underneath that, but I do want to leave it there as a bit of a marker. Okay, so now we are going to have to actually leave it here for today. Let's just give it a little pause. So, in this, the first episode in this mini series, the Short Fort series, we have come out into the desert to attempt to make ourselves a little trading fortress. Our main goal isn't to dig deep into the caverns and get everything that we need from the caverns. It is to trade with passing caravans as much as possible, and as well to build a kind of oasis, a fungal oasis in the middle of this desert, so that the caravans can stop here in our headcanon. And so we have managed to dig out this massive area here to be able to have the fungal area in here. We have quite a bit of animals kind of milling about in here. They have access to food. We have a trade caravan set up. We have a crafts dwarf workshop set up, so we'll be able to sell stuff over there already. We have our stone workshop over here with some stone already being added to it. We have a carpenter's workshop. And actually, we're going to queue up 2 wheelbarrows for this workshop real quick, just so that when we come back to this fort, we'll have a little bit of extra help moving the stone up, because we're moving it from underground. We have our dormitories, we have our little temple area. It is currently getting completely taken over by this floor fungus, which isn't a problem for the dwarves. I don't think they mind, but we will eventually want to move that over here. And of course, the reason we have these fungi growing is because we have found ourselves a nice little cavern, which we will actually queue up a walled section right here out of conglomerate, just so that we don't have anything nasty coming out. Once again, our main focus is not to be building underground a large empire. It is simply to be able to have access to these fungus. So this is where we're going to leave it today. Thank you for dropping by and giving this a listen, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.